Hello, everyone, and welcome to another one of our Day One and Beyond sessions. In this webinar series, Day One and Beyond Did You Know, we focus on new features and enhancements of Oracle Cloud infrastructure and discuss how these solutions empower businesses to achieve greater efficiency, security, and scalability. Whether you're a seasoned OCI user or you're just getting started with your cloud journey, you're at the right place to explore what's new. My name is Taylor Zhang with the Technical Engagement Services team who hosts these Day One and Beyond sessions. And today we'll be talking about Oracle AI building a unified agentic stack on OCI. And with that, I'd like to introduce our speakers for today, Anoop and Anand.
Hey, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, wherever you are. So my name is Anoop Oja. I'm part of Oracle Cloud Engineering team, and I represent our AI Center of Excellence, and mostly my strength is in Agentic AI. So happy to be on the call, and today I think we're going to walk you through a little bit more content. Anand, he's going to be my partner in crime.
Good to be here, Anoop, and definitely will be your partner in crime. Looking forward for the session.
Awesome. So let's do this. Let's just, so our safe harbor for a second. I'll just leave it there. This is intended for information only, this session, and please make your own judgment before you buy anything from Oracle based on this session. All right, how about we do this? Let's do a quick, maybe a fun fact. So we break the ice and then we get going. We got 30 minutes, so enough time. So here's the one that I have. Agents can compose music and can also deploy bots to listen to it. That's a very interesting one. I found this in LinkedIn, and there are a lot out there what agents can do, and they're really hilarious and funny, by the way.
That's an interesting fun fact, Anoop. I never knew about this. Thank you for sharing. Now, before we dive into this session, one of the things which I'm very curious to know that agentic AI is the most hot topic discussed today in the industry, right? Now, I know that you have come very well prepared to talk about a lot of things what Oracle has to offer. But before that, I'm very curious to know what are the current challenges our customers are facing incorporating agentic AI in their ecosystem.
Sure. Maybe let's start here. This is a quote from the State of AI Agents 2026. If you can read this, it says that organizations are no longer thinking or looking at do they need to build agents. They're really looking at how do they deploy agents at scale, reliably into production. So that's the discussion. This is so different than the discussion we had last year. So this is 2026. And also, I just want to give you a gist of the current market sentiment that validates that today's enterprises are ready to deploy agents in production. So Anthropic recently announced an out-of-the-box agents through Cowork, which are based on the concepts of plugins. OpenAI launched Frontier with the idea of optimization loop through the use of FDE. And of course, Palantir has embraced ontology-based data layer to help build agents quickly and achieve business values. The net is that enterprise customers are ready to deploy agents, AI solutions to change their business processing. At the same time, interestingly, they're also looking at choice and flexibility when it comes to development of agentic AI solutions. So what I see, there are three categories, or if you look at this from customization to first time to value. So at the very beginning on the left side, I call it the pro code, or full control, where developers really want full controls of their of the code. They will bring in open source code like framework like LangChain, LangGraph, Crew AI, and then the CSPs give them an infrastructure to deploy and run it. So that's where I see the category one. And there are a lot of startups who are in this bucket. They really want to build agents by going from pro code and full code. The next one, I think this is where I see most of my customers when I speak to customers. They also want to embrace pro code. At the same time, they want Oracle to give them a place or a service to host the agents, to host the MCP server, to host the tools so that they can focus on writing the code. And the CSP like Oracle can give them a place to deploy. So we give them the cloud infrastructure and the platform as a services. And then obviously on the right side, this is mostly every enterprise customer is looking at who has SaaS solution. They're looking at pre-built agents. They want drag and drop functionality. They want agents embedded within their system. They don't want anything bolted. So they want all out of the box. So this is the three paradigm that I see in the market today, how customers are trying to deploy their agents.
Wow, this is very interesting. Like, I think three options which you discussed. Now, I'm just curious, right? What I'm pretty sure there are a lot of customers from an Oracle perspective, they are requesting Oracle to come up with a lot of capabilities. Can you spend a few minutes on talking about and discussing about the capabilities Oracle is offering based on these three scenarios you talked about?
Sure. Let's look at this. So we all know Oracle is a true hyperscaler. So we are embedding our AI capability into all the three stacks, the SaaS, software as a service, platform as a service, and our infrastructure. Obviously, we use our infrastructure to train the models. But if you look at how we offer the choice and flexibility our customers are asking, the one that I just talked about before, right, from left to right. So we do embrace open source framework. You can bring your own LangChain, LangGraph, open AI, SDKs, Crew AI, whatever you want to do, and however you want to build it, and you can run it on our infrastructure. So that's definitely there. We see a lot of, again, startups, mid-level, enterprise customers who are into this bucket. At the same time, remember I said about how we can give you hybrid and then total low code, no code. So that's how we look at it from left to the right. So our AI data platform today, we provide you a low code environment where it also has a studio where you can start building agents. This is our data platform where you bring data from your source systems and then you curate on the data and start building agents. Obviously, we are a database company. Today's database is 26 AI, as the name says. We have embedded all the AI capability within the database also. So we just released something very interesting called Private Agent Factory. So with the Private Agent Factory, you can now start building agents with drag and drop capability inside the database, right? So you don't have to take data out, and that's what Oracle promises. Bring AI to data, not data to AI. And obviously on the right side is the SaaS offering from our Fusion AI Studio, and that's where we give you a studio environment to build agents. And we also provide a lot of seeded agents within those systems.
Thank you, Anup. I think I'm very interested in all of this use case, the capabilities you talked about, right? Whether it is AI data platform, including the industry leading AI database, the SaaS offering with the Agent Studio, etc. Now, can you take a use case? I'm very excited about these capabilities. Can you use any of the use cases which you are very familiar with and spend a little more time and discussing about these capabilities?
Sure. So maybe I prepared a use case for enterprise customer. And in this case, we have e-business suite. So the use case here is accounts payable. And based on Gartner, I think this is the most common use case that any organization should start utilizing for agentic AI. So in this case, what we are trying to do is we are trying to automate the entire process of invoice processing. So we're going to automate the whole invoice processing experience. So because today's invoice processing is very manual, error prone maybe, it takes a long time. There's also this idea about contract negotiation, which is multi-turn. If you have to negotiate contracts with your suppliers, between your vendor and the supplier, it's a long process. And then obviously, the whole auditing of invoices, you have to go through entire invoices and audit one by one. So these are all long, intensive auditing of processes that people do today. So can I take all of these use cases and automate them, right? And that's exactly what we're going to see today. So what I've done is I built an agent that's going to do these three things. It's going to automate my invoices. It's going to help you do contract negotiation. And it is also going to help you do auditing of invoices. So let's quickly look at the architecture before we go further. So this is table stake, right? So when we talk about agentic AI, at the top, we have enterprise AI fabric. This is a concept. We apply this concept into our entire demo that we are building. So it's very important, human in the loop. So because when you want to approve an invoice, there are certain invoices you cannot auto approve for some business logic, right? It has to go through human approval. So that's what it is. We are also introducing a little newer concept called A2UI, where your UI is responsive to the backend LLM response. So that's called agentic UI. AI guardrails is very important. So to protect your input and output from your large language model coming back. And then obviously you'll see the entire A2A communication that we have developed. So my agents talk to each other over A2A protocol. And then context memory is super important, where our agents can go back to history. And I have a use case to really demonstrate that. And then obviously enterprise security. And then, we have our own large language model, what I call the model garden, and then obviously monitoring and alerting. I think the interesting piece is this left side, the system of record. I call it context engineering. So what we do is we obviously have EBS as the system of record. We're going to take some data into our AI data platform. And this is important because we have to build context engineering, which means for my agent to really do some of the work, it has to understand the data that Oracle E-Business Suite provides, right? So how people are building invoices, how they are, where is the contracts, right? So those information will be curated and brought to a data platform as context engineering. Well, there's one more slide. Let me go beyond this. So let's say in this case, we prepared the data. In the next one, where things get interesting is this agent layer. Here, you can argue there can be so many different type of agents, but practically, we see there are 4 agents that can be built for business purpose. One is the business agents. These are agents or business tasks for transactional system. So this is one agent that will go and update EBS, okay? And obviously, it's not going to update EBS directly. It's going to go over a OIC MCP server. OIC means Oracle Integration Cloud MCP server. So that we do not change the core business logic. So we leverage the power of MCP, and my business agents can go and operate against my system of record, in this case, EBS. Conversational agents, these are typical, chatbots. We do have a conversational agents in this demo. I'm not going to show that part of it because that's so, so we are focusing today on agentic AI, that's why. But this conversational agents is built on NL to SQL capability. So this can go directly into the database of Oracle EBS. So that's what it will happen. And then there are 2 more agents. For this demo, I'm not going to spend time on the analytical agents, but think about analytical agents as AI BI, where I can build reports on the fly. And I personally see, the future where there'll be no more pre-built reporting, right? It's going to be all reports based on prompting, and then you get the reports done, like your dashboard. And the 4th one is the most important one and the most interesting one. It's called the deep research. We'll see today in my demo a lot around how we build these deep research agents.
Perfect. I think I'm very excited, Anup, on the business agents and all the 4 use cases and the use cases you talked about it. Now, there's a great saying, right? Seeing is believing. Can you use the same use cases and show the audience the demo, a quick demo on this use case which you discussed?
Absolutely. So let's first of all show just the sequence diagram so that we know. So this is the first landing page of my demo. So you will see, let me just show you the landing page. So this is what it looks like. It's a dashboard. So think about you are an AP manager. So this is your daily work. You log in to a dashboard, and then you look at what are the invoices I need to pay, and you start paying them manually, right? That's a very manual processing, and it takes a lot of time. And then even you want to do auditing, you can do auditing, but those are things that will take a lot of time for it. Now, let me go back to this. So what we have built is a cron job. So this is not every agent should be a chatbot, right? So that's something interesting. So I have an agent that has been scheduled at 8 a.m. in the morning. So what this agent does, it goes through my entire suppliers. It goes through my entire open invoices against EBS, the source system. And then it analyzes and routes. What it does 3 things. It routes invoices that needs immediate attention, so it mark it as red. It also routes to invoices that can be auto-paid. So by the way, if I come in the morning, if my agents pay some of the invoices, that's saving for me, right? I don't have to go through that. So that's exactly what's going to happen. And obviously what we are building is behind the scene, we have our OIC MCP server. So that's how we're going to connect to the backend EBS system. And then obviously there's data is fed from the Oracle E-Business Suite source database. So here, let's look at this particular dashboard. So here what you see is at the top, these are the top 5 suppliers by outstanding amount. So that means I need to look at this. These are marked as red, so that needs deep analysis. Okay, great. I have those because my agent has really curated those information for me. And at the bottom, as I mentioned, some of my invoices has been paid. So all I have to do is now auditing, right? And as I mentioned, I'm going to show you a demo how to make auditing easier. So let's look at this first, and then what I will do is I'll go back to this deep research later. So first, let's handle the invoices that has been auto-paid, for me. Well, before I do that, let me also show you the architecture, right? So here we are taking advantage of what we call episodic memory. So every agents, they have to deal with memory, right? There's a short-term memory, there's a long-term memory. And then think about this, an episode means if an incident happened or an episode happened, you should be able to recall those episodes. So what we have done is we have taken all the memory, like, as the agent talks to the user or even the backend cron job, those events are stored in an Oracle database 26 AI. And as you all know, Oracle is a converged database. So we are able to embed some of those interesting data points and store as vectors. And then what I do is I do a query processing. That means when I ask a query, I embed my query. In this case, I'm saying, hey, what invoices got auto-paid on February XYZ date at 8 a.m. in the morning, right? So that would be like a query, what invoices got paid today, this morning. So the query will get embedded. It'll do a semantic search against my vector database in Oracle 26 AI, and it will bring back those memory from the database. And what we have done is we've taken advantage of that particular idea, and then we're able to replay the whole agentic action. So here you'll see an action happening. Here it's connecting to AIDP. This is what has happened in the past, by the way. It's connecting to EBS, data warehouse. It's connecting to supplier master database, and then it also connected to the OIC gateway. So what it is doing is it's approving that this one invoice got approved. I'll just walk you through this, maybe the one invoice that got approved. So as this keeps on going, let me walk you through something that I've done before so that I don't have to wait for the whole processing. So here, the same process, replay agentic action. Here in the first one, there was a supplier called Vantage, and it queried all the unpaid invoices. It found one unpaid invoices to analyze. So it did that analysis, and then it checked the EBS for historical pay patterns. So it looked at, am I paying consistently with this particular supplier? Is there any problem in the past? If not, maybe it's, I should pay it by myself. It also validates the supplier master database. It checks, is the supplier still active? Maybe the supplier is not there in the system, right? So it'll validate. So it'll go on and do all the business logic before it says this amount is ready to be paid. So what it has decided that these are the invoices that can be paid. So what it did was at the end, it created a batch job. It created this payment workflow initiated, created the batch, and then all the invoices that has to be paid has been submitted to OIC, and Oracle Integration Cloud will submit that to EBS. So that's the entire process here about how we automate. So this is a pure business agents, right? So we are able to go back to our source of truth, which is the EBS systems, and then we are able to replicate, or I'm able to do my auditing. So that's one use case, and let's look at the other use cases. So let me go back to my PowerPoint again. So this is another use case that I want to share. This is what I call, supplier analysis, analyze, contract, and communication, right? So this is the contract negotiation phase. Here, there are 3 things that happens. First of all, whenever you do a negotiation between the vendor and the supplier, there's an internal assessment that happens, like cash flows analysis, situational analysis, right? Because I need to really understand, did I pay the vendor before, or was I late paying my historical payment to my vendor? So if that's the case, then it's going to be difficult to really negotiate, right? If I'm always paying late. But if I'm not paying late every time, that's going to make it very easy. So these are all levers that I have. So what this agent does, it'll analyze the cash flow. It'll also develop a strategy. What's the best strategy for me to go and have a contract negotiation, again, based on historical data and other stuff, right? And I will show you through my demo. And at the very end, it'll send an email out to the, in this case, to the supplier. Well, so let's keep doing this. So So, I think we're good there. So I have a, another screenshot that I want to run you through. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a deep research agent. So here, let's run it. So this will take some time. It's going to analyze all my suppliers, and then all suppliers has many invoices. So it's going against the core database right now. So this is going to take some time, but to just keep this going for this demo, so what I did was I want to show you the real meat here. So let's, after I've done this analysis, I can jump to this page here. And again, I'm selectively choosing the first one, in this case, Advantage Corp, right? So let's say Advantage Corp. So what it did was it was able to really extract, and this is the deep research that has happened. How much money I need to is outstanding, and how many invoices. This is a very old database. It's a 10-year-old database, and there's a lot of data. So that's why you see this, 20,000 and this kind of numbers. But in reality, those numbers may be different. But the good thing is, this data is running all from real system in the backend. So here, what you've done is there are two things happening. This part is called the analytical agent. This is a basic analytical agent where it analyzes or it gives you an AI insights, right? And how we do that, we really train the agents. This is not training the large language model. This is about training the agents to think the train of thought, the way that you want to think, make the agent think. So we have built some playbooks, and based on the playbooks, I'm able to make the agent focus on these particular patterns and analysis, right? And there are a few more. This is great, but I would say this is, as I mentioned earlier, an analysis agent. And also there's some AI BI, so there's some aging distribution that I don't have to pre-build the reports and all. But to me, I think the most interesting is I want to really showcase you these particular recommendation actions. Here, out of all the invoices that for that Advantage Corp supplier, it came back saying that, hey, I want to give you this recommendation. You can review for potential dispute some of the invoices if you think so. You can create payment schedule. You can negotiate payment terms, or you can also automate some of the payments, right? So it gave me different options, and all of them has an agent behind the scene. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to demonstrate the negotiate payment terms, something that I showed you on the PowerPoint, how the architecture works. So here, let me do this. So here you'll see my agent can do a negotiation. And in this case, it's a three-phase process: internal assessment, cash flows, number two, preparation, and number three is outreach program, right? So let me start this negotiation process. So think about this. If I have to do this manually, it's going to take a lot of time for me. I have to go each and every document. I have to pull records one by one, and maybe I have to go to 3 different systems. Here, this is going against my core system. So what I'll do is, just to make this faster, let me also go back to this pre-built UI that I have done before this call. So here, this is what it is: negotiate payment terms. And here, it's connecting to my backend system. It's doing the phase one internal assessment. It's trying to identify the need, and there's some sub agents being deployed behind the scene, and then eventually it's able to retrieve all the unpaid invoices. Here is it 20 because to reduce the query time, I just said top 20 for the demo purpose. But obviously, I'm not going to do top 20 in production, right? This demo box, so I just change the query for this demo. Well, it is able to go back to my system. It's able to analyze, and then it found that I owe $6 million to this vendor, right? And there's some aging. And then what it does was it's also figure out some situational analysis so that it understand what this invoice is all about. How much was my payment history? Looks like this payment history was good. So I had good terms with my suppliers. And then next was, you categorize some more sub agents so that you can really figure out, are these invoices, again, red, green, and yellow, right? Looks like all of this data that's coming in here, they're all critical because this is, I ran through some old system, and all the invoices are marked as critical. But what it did was it also helped me prepare. So now that I have all these critical invoices that I need to pay, I have to pay it, right? And it was around $6 million. So it gave me some statement how I can pay. Maybe I'll just ask for discounts. Maybe I'll pay the first payment. I'll make a bulk like some $1 million, and then later on I'm gonna do a schedule. So anyway, so these are all the agents doing behind the scene, and at the end of the day, it helped me create this email and send out to the supplier. So again, if you look at this, this is accounts overview, total outstanding 6 million, number of invoices 20. This is aging and whatnot. And then it also says this is my invoices that I need to pay, right? So this is making the job of that particular account manager very, very helpful.
Wow, that is very interesting, Anup. I really love the demo. I think we showcased in terms of like, how agents can help you to save time, productivity, and also the risks. So thank you for sharing that demo. Now, before we switch, I know that we have 3 more minutes. Is there anything you want to share from an Oracle perspective that Oracle is trying to work on to help its customers in coming months?
Absolutely. There are a lot of things happening, but particularly the thing that I'm really excited is the private agent factory, where you can build agents on top of a database. So that's very interesting. We also coming up, it's in LA. There are some more things how to help deploy agents runtime, MCP runtime. There's something called Agent Hub. So that's coming soon. And that's something that's really very interesting because those will make this agent building exercise very, very easy, right? Yep. And then obviously there's one more interesting one is OIC agent building. So inside your Oracle Integration Cloud, you can also start building agents. So those are 3 things that I think I'm personally very excited about.
Thank you, Anup. But I think there are a few questions I want to take it on, which is there. I want to say that if you're connecting to the EBS data warehouse instead, can you directly connect to EBS database or use OIC MCP server? The answer is yes, right? Because you talked about it. OIC and MCP server is an interface between your agent and the EBS database.
Yes.
So the last one is, what is the difference between the AIDP and private agent factory?
Okay, so AIDP is our new data platform, AIDP Workbench, and private agent factory is running on top of our database. So think about AIDP is a platform where you can, curate the data from bronze, silver, gold, and it's all data lands into a lake house. So that's what AIDP is all about. And it gives a unified UI to work on the data and also start building agents on top of it.
Thank you. And one last one is, can we connect to OIC MCP server? Is it publicly available?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to Oracle Integration Cloud, you'll see those capabilities.
Thank you, Anup. That's all I had the list. Taylor, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anand and Anu. If you enjoyed the session and wanted to learn more, particularly on a use case for multi-agent AI, we'll be doing a session on Thursday for claim processing and fraud detection. And if you wanted to learn more, here are some resources for you to access on Oracle Cloud. You can read some documentation, watch some tutorials, or if you wanted to get hands-on experience, you can visit live labs. And remember that the technical engagement services team invests in our training for our customers to help drive business growth. And we do this through customized instructor-led training, lab-based enablement, and also one-to-many customer events and internal offerings to connect you with the right speakers to progress your customer opportunities. So if you liked this session and would like us to conduct a personalized training session, please do email us at our email at personal-trainers_mb@oracle.com. And if you wanted us to conduct a hands-on lab, we have our live labs for a more expedited hands-on learning experience toward a particular topic. And then here are our upcoming Day 1 and Beyond sessions for the month of March. For Day 1 and Beyond, did you know specifically, we'll be talking about multi-cloud observability and management for Oracle Database at Azure, AWS, and Google Cloud. Thank you so much for joining today. We'll see you next time.